This program is sponsored in part by
Municipal Credit Union, serving the financial needs of our members since 1916. MCU, strong, trusted, growing.
Transit Check, saves money for commuters, lowers payroll taxes for businesses, and it's also good for the environment. With Transit Check, everyone benefits.
The Transit Managerial Benevolent Association, protecting the rights of non-represented, active, and retired managerial employees within the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. Mike Landy, President.
Con Edison, on it. Working for you 24/7, we're delivering reliable service, energizing your life, empowering your business. We're people helping people every day.
Transport Workers Union Local 100, representing the 35,000 men and women who move New York. We're New York's public transit union. John Samuelson, President.
And by the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association of the City of New York, fighting for the rights of the police officers who protect New York City. Patrick J. Lynch, President.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Transit Newsmagazine. This month we're here at Resorts World Casino, New York City. I'm Ozzie Cruz.
This brand new casino is just steps from the A train and Q37 bus. And yes, even the Long Island Railroad has a one-day getaway package. And who knows, you just might be a winner. I'm Amtasol Hassan.
And with over 4,000 slot machines and over 900 electronic table games, there's lots of things to do and plenty of chances to win.
And Ozzie, let's not forget the fine dining and food buffet. But before we take you on a complete tour, on this month's show,
New York City subway is not just for passengers. I'm Joe Calisi and I have that story.
Where can you go to find the next generation of engineers? Here at the first robotics competition. I'm Lena Lansky with that story.
the Aqueduct Station is going through rehab, so you can connect to Resorts World Casino via the newly constructed Sky Bridge.
And there's another station in the Bronx that just had a ribbon cutting and has been restored to its original design. Our reporter Edith Mock will take you on a tour of the new 180th Street station.
After a 2-year rehab, the East 180th Street station in the Bronx has been restored to its original grandeur.
We not only celebrate the restoration of this subway station and this historic building, but we celebrate better service for 6,500 customers who come through these doors, going to work and coming back every day.
Work on this station required the effort of many skilled craftsmen, artists, and engineers to bring the station back to its 20th century architectural design.
The access to the station was pretty dark and dingy alley that they had to go through these turnstiles. We opened up by providing new skylights and arch lights, and the sunlight came into the station and it made it brighter.
The president of our company, Mike Gargiulo, felt that he wanted to give back something to the project, to the community, to the MTA, to New York City Transit, and he felt the spot needed a clock, the same as it was back 100 years ago. So that was the reason why we ended up donating the clock.
Placing art in the subway adds beauty to a commuter's day, and the hand-painted windows bring both natural light and color to the station. Artist Louisa Caldwell was selected to design art in this station that reflects popular Bronx attractions like the zoo and the botanical gardens.
I have a little bit of animal imagery and flowers and bouquets, of course, to acknowledge the location of where we are. Over the entry arches, I have an elephant trunk coming in and pulling at a central bouquet of flowers.
When traveling through the station, commuters will experience the feel of an art gallery.
Across the way, we have three pieces that are representing giant gilt mirrors, and my idea was that when people are rushing by, they would see a vague image of themselves, and it also becomes like a portrait gallery.
It used to look way more dirty and trashy in here, but now that they changed it up and put artwork around it and actually cleaned up, made elevators for the handicapped, I think it's made a big change to the community a lot, and I like it.
With this historic makeover, the East 180th Street station allows the Bronx to shine even brighter. I'm Edith Mock, reporting for Transit News.
There's more to do here at Resorts World than just trying your luck, and great dining is always a sure bet. Now I'm here with Michael Kim, head chef of RW Prime. So Michael, tell us all about RW Prime.
Sure. RW Prime is a Resorts World upscale steakhouse. We offer nothing but the finest prime blank Angus beef and the freshest cod seafood available.
Well, the food on this table looks delicious. Tell us all about it.
Sure. First, over here, starting off our appetizers, we have a crab avocado, which is our version of a cold crab cocktail. We have a buffalo mozzarella caprese salad. For entrees, we have a 40-ounce porterhouse steak for two, as well as our braised lamb shank, which has mascarpone polenta, and our crispy red snapper.
Now, these desserts look like artwork. What are they?
Well, first we have a New York-style cheesecake, which has fresh mixed berries and a berry coulis. And then we have a chocolate molten cake, which has a pistachio gelato.
Well, I got to tell you, I got to try some of this.
Please do.
While Ozzy's eating this artwork, there's a must-see exhibit at the New York Transit Museum store in Grand Central Station. Here's Hella Anderson with more on the On Time exhibit.
On Time is a new exhibition of contemporary art commissioned in honor of the centennial of Grand Central Terminal and is now open at the New York Transit Museum Annex.
Well, this is an exhibit of contemporary artists, 18 contemporary artists who are looking at Grand Central through a different lens. They're thinking about Grand Central and they're thinking about the passage of time.
We took a look behind the scenes as Arts for Transit and the artists worked relentlessly to get the exhibition ready for the public. Some had delicate historical artifacts that needed to be displayed with great care.
When the idea of doing something with this exhibition came up, I walked around Grand Central and I happened to meet a guy who is a conductor, who's the fourth generation conductor who's worked in this station. And he told me that his family had been collecting memorabilia of their passengers for 4 generations.
From small pieces to a large sculpture of a fantastical version of Grand Central, artist Osterberg explained how his version of Grand Central Terminal came to life.
By doing this process, I'm not building a model. It's not going to be a train set, which is trying to be realistic and then stays in the level of being a model, but it is becoming more that dream world, of that fantasy world, and it's like, oh, something is off here.
Lotar's version of Grand Central Terminal with great zeppelins has been transformed into a poster that can be seen in the New York subway system throughout 2013.
And I kind of started thinking, what if, the Hindenburg never had crashed and the Zeppelins had taken over the world and could have just transferred from trains to Zeppelins right here in the Grand Concourse.
We saw behind the scene. Now, let's go to the scene. And everything was certainly on time on opening day at the New York Transit Museum Gallery. The exhibit features elements such as painting, poetry, interactive media, performances, and video.
I was inspired by it's incredible, 100 years, sense of time, sense of beauty, sense of grandeur, and sense of coming here every morning from the train when sometimes I can feel upset or something, and then you see how beautiful it is, and it just sort of warms up your heart.
The subway poster called Grand Central Catwalk was also introduced as part of the exhibition.
Because of the sort of width, the horizontal width of the piece, I wanted to make it sort of similar to a catwalk and represent the people who travel through the station and on the subways and use them as inspiration, really.
So how did opening day go?
The show is really magical. There are so many incredible pieces of work, and now that we can see it as a whole exhibit and we see how the pieces kind of work with one another, there's a lot of dialogue back and forth between the video work and the painting and the sculpture. So it's a really wonderful space to be able to come in and walk around.
The exhibition will be open through July 7th, and it's a must-see for New Yorkers and visitors to enjoy. These artists explored the sense of time so that you can spend time at this great exhibit. I'm Hilla Anderson reporting for Transit News.
Stand back from the platform edge and don't become a statistic. 141 people were struck by trains in 2012. 55 were killed. Stand back. Be smart. Be safe.
All the gaming here at Resorts World is electronic. Even the game of Baccarat is robotic. I'm here with Tom Vukasin. Tom, how do you play Baccarat?
Baccarat is one of our simplest games here at Resorts World. There's two sides, a banker and a player. The patron chooses one side, the closest to 9 wins.
And even the dealer is robotic?
Yes, the dealer is. The generator was designed to simulate a human dealer. Therefore, it shuffles the 8-deck shoe and then deals each card out one at a time.
Great, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
And talk about robotics. Mentors from New York City Transit's Department of CPM helped some high school students build their own robotics. We sent our reporter Lena Lansky to the first robotic competition. Here's that story.
The first robotics competition, hosted at the Jacob Javits Center, is a unique event that helps high school students discover how interesting and rewarding the world of engineering and science can be.
I'm very surprised at the talent that even untrained students, after a while, there's an interest, there's a spark in them that makes them go more and more, and their enthusiasm and passion actually will make them good engineers.
Teams of 15 or more students are sponsored by engineers and large corporations. They spend 6 weeks building robots to participate in short sporting events such as Frisbee.
This is important because it is our way to get kids engaged in math, science, and engineering through a sporting event, because what attracts them best than sports? So we've taken after that model and we've created a sporting event where kids, in this case 64 high schools in the country and other countries, and they are engaged in a game. They have to build robots, figure out robots to play a game, and they work with engineers from industry, and they work certainly in New York City with the help of New York City Transit engineers, and they do an amazing job.
New York City Transit and Port Authority supported 3 teams in this year's first robotics competition. Transit's 2 teams were Long Island City High School and the Lower East Prep High School.
They're great. They're always great. I just love the fact that we're involved in the program. These are kids who really need the exposure to mentors, to working engineers, and we've got great folks at Transit.
I think it's very important to remember that the world is changing very rapidly, and schools, educators, they need the help of the rest of society, the rest of us, to help them achieve their goals. And this program and the help of volunteers, such as volunteers from New York City Transit, play a very, very important role in helping schools achieve their goals.
Even though these teams didn't come in first place, this only inspired them to step up their game for the future.
How do you guys feel?
Sad at the same time, and we want to do better this year than last year we did.
I feel okay. I mean, you always win some, you lose some. That's life. But hopefully, at least now we know what we're bad in. We're going to go back and try to fix it and do better the next match we have.
Today, they're building robots. Tomorrow, they're building Transit's future. I'm Lena Lansky for Transit News.
gorgeous 60-foot crystal chandeliers called Light of Nations, featuring globes representing every country in the United Nations. And just as the world turns, so does this chandelier, as it rotates 360 degrees.
The wheels of the new R156 locomotive are also turning as it travels through the subway system, transporting crews and materials to work sites. Our reporter Joe Calisi got to see this new work train in action.
Customers see subway cars on a daily basis, but what they may not realize is that New York City Transit also has diesel-electric locomotives. They haul work trains and pumping equipment for maintenance work or to repair damage within the subway system.
Well, the biggest thing is obviously they have to work throughout the system at nighttime, and they don't want to cut power, third rail power. So diesel is pretty much the best way to go. When you don't want to cut power, you want to still have service running. And these locomotives will go in between road cars, so you will not mess up main line for the evening.
Recently, the first new R156 locomotives were delivered. They replaced units that have seen nearly a half-century of service.
We needed new locomotives to replace our existing locomotives that are about 50 years old. So since we're getting 28 locomotives, most of these locomotives will replace old fleet, as also add to the number of locomotives we have within the fleet. The difference between this locomotive and the older locomotives is this locomotive incorporates computer technology, it has clean exhaust emissions, and there's a lot of safety requirements as far as the underframe, the steel that's put into it. And we also considered crew comfort and crew safety throughout the entire design. This locomotive is also a little more powerful than our existing locomotives, so the intent was to be able to pull a heavier load than we have in our existing locomotives.
These locomotives are custom built to meet New York City Transit's unique requirements, such as cabinet space, electrical conduits, and cabling for future communications-based train control. This will result in reliable operation and increased maintenance efficiency.
The diesel engines themselves are the latest tier rating, and we also have it equipped with what they call an AUX engine. Once the big diesel shuts down, the AUX engine takes care of all your ancillary equipment, your air conditioning, your lights, your ventilation, your heating. And it's a 100 horsepower engine versus running the 875 horsepower diesel. So there alone, you're saving a lot of money on diesel fuel and obviously emissions.
With the new technology, maintaining and operating these engines are easier and safer than ever. For Transit News, I'm Joe Calisi.
We're here with Stefan Friedman of Resorts World Casino. So, Mr. Friedman, tell us a little bit about the casino.
Well, you have just a tremendous amount of excitement here at Resorts World New York. You have 5,000 video lottery terminals, electronic table games, whether it be roulette, baccarat, craps, or a game called Sickbo, an Asian dice game.
Is there any kind of promotions going on now?
Absolutely. You have Disco Inferno, which is a night where we have 70s disco music. We have Senior Tuesday. Every Tuesday of every week, seniors get to come with an amount of free play and a meal voucher as well. Best of all, for those coming from Long Island on the Long Island Railroad, $20 of free play and a $10 meal voucher every time they come.
Wow, that sounds great. Thank you, Mr. Friedman.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Bar 360 utilizes social media to reach out to its customers about entertainment, gaming promotions, and dining messages. It also uses Facebook and Twitter to interact with the band, DJ, and customers.
The MTA is also using social media to connect with their customers in the event of emergencies like Hurricane Sandy. Here's Gina Ribeiro explaining how it works.
Hurricane Sandy left her mark all over New York City. Subway tunnels and stations from the number 1 to the L line were filled with water.
What we tried to do was we tried to prepare at least a week in advance of the storm arriving. By preparing, I mean we had drafts together for different scenarios that may impact the system. If the storm were to hit at full strength as predicted, we had messaging that was already drafted and ready to go out, ready for print, ready for digital upload, ready for positioning on social media, ready for our website. We tried to be as prepared with that type of information as possible. We wanted to use several tools to communicate with our customers on a real-time basis. The first tool that we used was our website, www.mta.info. We stripped down all of the normal information that we would typically have on our webpage, and we went into what's called the emergency weather page mode. We solely positioned the most important information during the storm, the status of our trains and buses, the status of our bridges and tunnels, and also the status of all of our modes of transportation throughout the system. The other thing that we positioned on our webpage were direct links to our social media sites. So that way, folks could sign up, become followers, become one of the thousands that follow us on a real-time basis to make sure that they stay informed of what was happening during the storm. Prior to the storm, we tried to make sure that we got out as much safety-related information as possible, making sure that customers traveled safely before they headed to their respective destinations. But during the storm, when we had to suspend service, one of the things that we did was to make sure that we gave customers enough notice before suspending service. To suspend our service, it takes about 8 hours to do that. We have a very robust system. 468 stations, thousands of buses that travel throughout the 5 boroughs. So it made sense that we gave customers advance notice to let them know that this was going to be coming. So social media played a very vital role in that case. We were able to use Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Flickr to get that message out.
The damage to the subway system was extensive, reaching all the way up to Dyckman Street.
Millions of gallons, there was a lot of water. I mean, we're talking from here at Dyckman and up to 207th.
It took a team of transit workers night and day to dry out the station.
We had a Superstorm Sandy recovery map, which was key toward letting folks know exactly when service was going to be restored and giving people real-time information when service was restored on specific subway lines. Because every single time there was an update, we wanted to make sure that customers had the latest and greatest map right in the palm of their hands.
Well, most of the tunnels was completely flooded out. I mean, completely, from the ceiling all the way through. See, the tunnel's designed like it's concave. So when you actually come into it, you see a glaze over it. And the further away the glaze is, the higher the water is actually in the tunnel.
YouTube is another very, very vital channel of ours. We were able to take behind-the-scenes footage, either filmed by our transit news team or by our MTA press office, to make sure that we can actually position that video footage out there. There were different newscasters that were following our social media channels. As they saw information go out, and as we got information from the governor's office and from our senior management team, we were able to pump that information out, which media outlets were able to grasp right away. What that did was it helped to reduce the number of phone calls that actually came in.
In order to get the water out, a pump train had to be deployed. The concept is simple. The pump train removes water that has accumulated in the middle of a subway tube.
What happens, the train makes its way towards the water as deep as it can go, and then we lower pumps into the water. And the pump is being connected to a discharge line that rides along the catwalk out to the sewage or out to the rivers.
Photos and videos were absolutely key in terms of our social media uploads. They granted our customers this behind-the-scenes access that they're really not able to get during regular occasions. It was an opportunity for them to see exactly what our employees had to endure in terms of draining water out of the tunnels. We had tunnels that were completely submerged in water. Telling people that we can't run service is one thing, but a picture actually is worth 1,000 words. The saying is true. When we were able to show a photo or show a video of what we were going through, our customers really identified with the scenario and identified with our focus and our plight to try and restore service as quickly as we could.
Due to flooding in Lower Manhattan and no electricity, the MTA has implemented a bus bridge program to transport passengers from Brooklyn to Manhattan. Since the subway system moves 5.4 million people a day, and it takes 20 buses to equal the capacity of one train, this made for a very hectic commute.
I'm very happy to have the MTA working so hard for us.
The morning is a lot more volume, and
They're averaging, I guess, probably less than 6 minutes loading a bus. People have to get to work, people have to get certain places, so they understand the difficulties that because Sandy caused, and they've been pretty agreeable.
You know, at times, being the MTA, you can only be as popular as your last rush hour. And, you know, interestingly enough, in this respective situation, we found that customers completely identified with everything that we were going through. We move 8.5 million customers every single day. So it is tough to run this type of a system, this vast of a system, as efficiently as we do. Going forward, I would say social media is going to continue to play a very, very important role in our communication exchange. Every single day, every single month, we have millions of people who come to visit our website. So as long as we continue to use social media to drive traffic to our website and continue to use it to communicate as transparently as possible with our customers, I think that we'll be in a good position to make sure that customers are well informed.
Ozzy, it was so much fun here today at Resorts World Casino, New York City. And the best part, it's so easy to get here by the A train or Q37 bus.
And with Long Island Railroad's one-day getaway, it's always a bargain. And who knows, you might come out a winner.
And that just about wraps up this month's show. If you have any questions, comments, or story ideas, we want to hear from you. Email us at transitnews@nyct.com. I'm Amta Salasan. Thanks so much for watching.
And I'm Ozzy Cruz. Thanks for riding. Hey, Ampy, I'm feeling a little bit lucky. Come on, let's hit those slot machines.
This program is sponsored in part by
Municipal Credit Union, serving the financial needs of our members since 1916. MCU, strong, trusted, growing.
Transit Check, saves money for commuters, lowers payroll taxes for businesses, and it's also good for the environment. With Transit Check, everyone benefits.
The Transit Managerial Benevolent Association, protecting the rights of non-represented, active, and retired managerial employees within the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. Mike Landy, President.
Con Edison, on it, working for you 24/7. We're delivering reliable service, energizing your life, empowering your business. We're people helping people every day.
Transport Workers Union Local 100, representing the 35,000 men and women who move New York. We're New York's public transit union. John Samuelson, President.
And by the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association of the City of New York, fighting for the rights of the police officers who protect New York City. Patrick J. Lynch, President.